How's it going, guys? Well, I just got back from the flea market and made a few other stops and picked up a few new projects for some videos, and one of those was Harbor Freight. I found this Gordon stainless steel folding knife at Harbor Freight for $4.99, and it got me kind of curious. What do you really get for $4.99 when it comes to a knife that looks this good already? Because I gotta admit, it does look like a nice knife. But we're gonna find out today just how good it is. Open it up here. Alright. It really doesn't look too bad, I gotta say, for being a Chinese-made $5 Harbor Freight knife. It does look like a nice knife. It has a good feel to it. There's the edge. Oh, that's kind of sharp. Let's see, do a paper test with it real quick. Wow, surprisingly sharp for a Harbor Freight knife. Not too bad. So it does come with a fairly good edge. The lockup. Wow. That's scary. It really doesn't lock at all. It should have, it's a liner lock, but it literally, that is not a good start. There's, see how we can see this here. The lock bar, there's not enough room for it to go over. It's not moving at all. It's just barely touching it. That is not a good start. Other than that, it sits pretty centered when it's closed. Not too bad. It says it's a spring-loaded quick-release locking mechanism, which there's no springs in this thing. There's definitely nothing opening it, nothing keeping it from closing either. But it does have a pretty good edge. It cuts paper. I was going to test it further, but the way this locking mechanism is, that's pretty bad. There's virtually no blade play, very little. Overall, it's not too bad of a knife other than for the most important part, which is a very big hazard. I'm going to go ahead and take this apart and we'll see if we can't make it work a little better real fast. That's what she looks like taken apart. That is a really rough lock bar edge, extremely rough. I can see why it's not engaging. Just need to take off a little bit of material on him. It does have a detent and some ceramic washers. The blade is also hollow ground, stainless steel, probably 420 or one of those real cheap ones. Maybe a 440, but certainly not a 440C. Maybe an A or B. All in all, it's pretty nice. A clean spear point. The grinds look good. It's really not a bad looking blade. Let's see if we can fix the lockup real quick. Alright, we're going to take off a very small amount of material right here off of the lock bar edge. We'll also at this point see how hard this knife is as well. Make sure you want to keep that same exact angle as close as possible. Alright, go ahead and test that real quick. Should work after doing that. Alright, even after doing that, it locks up a little bit better. Oh, that time it locked good. There we go. Never mind. This took a little adjusting. Tighten this guy up. Alright, now she actually works. That is incredibly hard to see. It could still use a little more, but it's definitely locking up better now. I'm sure it'll wear in here soon enough. At least it locks. Alright, well, that's not a good start right off the bat. Needed to fix an issue with the knife, but at the same time, $5 knife, what can you expect? I'd pay $5 just for the handle, let alone the blade. It has a pretty nice handle. It's got fairly tight tolerances. It's a little weird here and there, but it's really not too bad. And I'd pay $5 just for the pivot on one of my custom knives. At least that much. Probably twice that much. Alright, let's go put an edge on it real quick. Alright guys, that edge took very little to touch up. It's very sharp now. All these bald spots from all these other videos lately. Jeez, it definitely shaves pretty good. Very sharp. Try paper test again. Definitely cutting better. Definitely will hold a good edge. Now we'll go ahead and do some sharpness tests and see how well it holds up. And then we'll also do a tip test on this guy. Alright. Still seems to be holding up pretty good after that. Still nice and sharp. Go ahead and do an edge test or a tip test and see how well the tip will hold up. Put a glove on for this because this definitely could be dangerous. all in all, tip still looks perfect. No damage whatsoever. And the lock didn't fail either. Although I did not notice that lock bar got pushed all the way over. Wow. I might not even be able to close it after doing that test. It's like the whole knife locked up. There it goes. Yeah, that lock bar is not tempered too well or something. It just pushed it right over. Maybe I took a little too much material. I don't know, whatever caused it to do that. Anyway, back to the tip. It definitely held up. Still shaving sharp. What else can we do with this guy real quick? Test him out a little more. You know, so far this thing seems to be holding up to all my tests. Really, as hard as I've been trying to, it just will not dull the edge, which is really good. Shocking the heat treat's that good on something that's $5. But next we're going to go ahead and try to baton. I know that's a little extreme for this little folding knife, but you never know, you might need to do it someday. Let's see how well it'll hold up, and if maybe the blade's too hard and might break. We'll find out. Oh, looks like the knife's starting to close on me. Oh, there it went. Looks like it. My lock bar got bent over. Well, it worked for one piece, almost 1.5 pieces. Overall, the lockup still seems good. The blade's still tight. I don't know. This knife is really not that bad for $5. It does hold an edge. See if it still cut some paper real quick. Oh, maybe I got some damage that time. There's no little nicks or anything in it. It'll feel sharp. But it will not cut paper anymore. There it goes. Well, the edge didn't hold up as well as I thought. But overall, this knife, for what it is, for $5, if that's all you can afford, this is not really a bad knife to carry. I would highly recommend checking out your lock bar right after you buy it, and that's really so far the only real downside to it. That's pretty bad when it won't even lock right out of the box, and somebody could seriously get cut by it. It had a good factory edge in the box, wasn't too bad. Definitely needed a little work, but not much. And what can you really expect for $5? I'd have to say, for the price, I'd probably give this probably a 2-star rating, just because the lock bar was off and it had to be modified in order to work. Other than that, I'm pretty impressed with everything else this knife does. The lock bar is definitely a little funky. Even after it was fixed, it still did some weird stuff. But it's got no wobble in it. It stayed perfectly centered. Jeez. Well, no, I guess it didn't. It got pushed over here. Out of alignment. But not too bad. And when it comes to making these knives, the pivots, even the little tiny standoffs that are inside this knife, cost me a couple dollars a piece to buy them. And when you think about that compared to the whole knife for $5, that's pretty ridiculous. That's China for you. But overall, I'd say 2 stars, and if that's all you can afford, it's really not that bad of a knife. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any other ideas for me to review or try out some other products, let me know, and I'll definitely give it a shot. Thanks for watching and have a great day.